Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 13, Chapter 8, The Middle Path. Through continuous and consistent sadhana, spiritual discipline, man can control the vagaries of the mind, which by their vanity and variety cause disappointment and distress. Sadhana can achieve what appears impossible, says a Telugu proverb. What is required is the awareness of the vicious game that the mind plays. It presents before the attention one source after another of temporary pleasure, does not allow any interval for you to weigh the pros and cons. When hunger for food is appeased, it holds before the eye the attraction of the film. It reminds the ear of the charm of music, and it makes the tongue water for the pleasant taste of something that it craves for. The wish becomes very soon the urge for action. The urge soon gathers strength, and the yearning becomes uncontrollable. The burden of desires gradually becomes too heavy, and man gets dispirited and sad. Train the mind to turn towards the intelligence for inspiration and guidance, not towards the senses for adventures and achievements. That will make it an instrument for reducing your vagaries and saving time and energy for more vital matters. You are all living cells in the body of God. When desires are fulfilled, they give rise to more desires. When unfulfilled, they lead to further installments of life on earth in order to calm the urge. The only method by which the delusion of desire can be destroyed is to dedicate all activities to God and engage in them in a spirit of worship, leaving the consequences to Him and ceasing to attach yourselves to them. Look upon everyone as the embodiment of the divine and worship each as such by offering love, understanding, and service. Only the blind will be indifferent to the dismal condition of others. Only the deaf will be unaffected by the sobs of others. In fact, there are no others. You are all living cells in the body of God, each performing its individual function to promote His will. The joy one gets while promoting another's joy is incomparable. Your heart must melt in compassion when the eye sees another person suffering. That is the sign of the sattvic, pure or noble individual. The tamasic, ignorant individual will be indifferent. He is too dull, too bovine to be affected. The rajasic, passionate man will rush to punish the person who caused the suffering, and might even forget to relieve the misery of the person affected. Callousness is the root cause of all the cruelty that defaces the divine nature of man. In all the lands on the earth, there are thousands of bhajana mandalis, groups for devotional singing, under the auspices of the Sathya Sai Seva Samitis active all over the world. They hold bhajan sessions for about an hour, once or twice a week, and disperse thereafter. They sing the glory of God under various names and in various forms, and are elated by that experience. Avoid excess in all places. The purpose of this type of loud, congregational prayers is different from the silent individual prayers. It is a joint, concerted, and mutually helpful effort of sadhana to overcome the 6 eternal foes of man: lust, anger, greed, attachment, conceit, and hatred. These nocturnal birds infest the tree of life and foul the heart where they build their nests. When we sing aloud the glory of God, the heart is illumined and they cannot bear the light. Besides, the voice that rises from many throats frightens them and they fly away. It is advisable to all to love the middle path, Ati Sarvatra Varjayat, which is an ancient axiom. It means avoid excess in all places. You must respect the limits set by the experience of ages in the sacred texts. They act like embankments that curb the flood waters. They direct the raging passions towards harmless channels and save you from ruin. Of course, man has elementary needs, physical, mental, and intellectual. These have to be fulfilled in some measure. But there is no need to encumber oneself with unwanted food, superfluous furniture, and multi-roomed mansions. Luxury enervates and enslaves. Leaders of people have to set an example in this respect, for men usually try to imitate and emulate. Example is more effective than precept. An ounce of practice is worth more than a ton of preaching. That is why I declare my life is my message. You must transform your lives into examples of the ideal you preach. Parents must set good examples for children. Teachers must set good examples for students, and leaders must set good examples for those whom they expect to follow them. Preaching austerity and practicing luxury will only reveal one's hollowness. Choose God as your leader and guide. Parents talk of honesty, but they utter lies in the presence of children and even encourage them to speak falsehood. The father, while at home, asks the child to tell the unwelcome visitor that he is not at home. The child is thus taught his first lesson in prevarication by the father himself. There is no use blaming him if he grows into a social menace. Really speaking, the best way to gain happiness is to choose God as the leader and guide. Then God will guide and guard from the heart itself. Emperor Shivaji once sent some persons from the court to Samartha Ram Das, his preceptor, with a large quantity of provisions, grains, clothes, sweets, and vessels. He asked them, "From whom have you brought these and why?" They replied, "For you. You have no one who can provide for you, and so Shivaji Maharaj has sent all this." Ram Das laughed and said, "I have Providence itself to provide for me. It is only God who has no one to provide for him. Ask Shivaji to send these things to God." Now there is a wave of anxiety spreading over the world as a result of rising prices, and attempts are being made frantically to bring down the level. The fundamental cause for the rise in prices is the decline in the price of man. Man must realize his pricelessness. He should not regard himself as a cheap nut or bolt, one that has no higher purpose in life. He should know that he is the imperishable, unconquerable Atma, soul, and the body is only a vehicle for the Atma. Love, based on the innate divinity, is absent. Everyone should respect all others as one's own kin, having the same divine spark. as well as the same divine nature, then there will be effective production, economic consumption, and equitable distribution, resulting in peace and the promotion of love. Now, love based on the innate divinity is absent, and so there is exploitation, deceit, greed, and cruelty. If man becomes aware of all men being cells in the divine body, then there will be no more devaluation of man. Man is a diamond, but he is now treated by other men and by himself as a piece of glass. Man can realize his mission on earth only when he knows himself as divine, and when he reveres all others as divine. And man has to worship God in the form of man. It is God who appears before him as a blind beggar, an idiot, a leper, a child, a decrepit old man, a criminal or madman. You must see even behind those veils the divine embodiment of love, power, and wisdom, the Sai, and worship him through seva, selfless service. God cannot be identified with one name and one form. He is in all names and all forms. Every name is His, every form is His. Your name and your form are also His. You see yourselves as separate individual bodies because your eyes focus only on the outer shell, the physical form. When you clarify and sanctify your vision and look at them through the Atmic eye, the eye that penetrates behind the physical, with all its attributes and appurtenances, then you will see others as waves on the ocean of the Absolute, as the 1,000 heads, the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 feet of the Virat Purusha, Supreme Sovereign Person, sung in the Rig Veda. Strive to win that vision and to saturate yourself with that bliss. New Delhi, April 1st, 1975. You come to Puttaparthi, secure a picture, and taking it home, you begin worshipping it every day or every Thursday. But all that is simply satkarma, good activity. They won't take you far. You must also develop satguna, virtues, good habits, good attitudes, good characteristics, a good character. Otherwise, your life is a chain of pluses and minuses, one cancelling the other out, totaling up to a mere zero. Sri Sathya Sai Baba.